right, Joe, welcome. Joe, states your full name for the record.
Joseph D. Minor, M-I-N-O-R.
And Joe, where were you from? Are you from here in
I'm
Evansville?
originally from Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois. And are you a veteran?
Yes.
What branch of the military did you
3.
serve in?
Navy, Marine Corps, and Army Guard.
Well, is that because they just kept kicking you out and you had to go to the
That's
next
it.
one? Is that it?
You got it,
All
yeah.
right, all right. Well, that means you're a veteran of a veteran.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Joel, thanks for coming in. I know you have some things to share for us today, so I'm pretty much going to let you explain to you what you're doing. I know you told me you were going to talk about World War II rationing. And
For
I'll
one
let you
thing,
take
yeah.
over and
For one
just
thing.
tell us what you
Okay.
brought in and what
Well,
the significance
To
is.
start with, I was born in November of 1933. So I was a little under 8 years old when the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor. So I was just a kid during the war.
Right.
I do remember rationing. Living on a farm, Mom done a lot of canning of jams and preserves and
Right.
jellies. Sugar being rationed made it hard for her to do that. We had a tractor, so we could get gas stamps. And relatives in town needed gas, we needed their sugar. So we traded gas stamps for sugar stamps. And it worked out pretty good. Have you heard that before?
Oh, sure. That's the first one, that barter system.
Yeah.
We're familiar.
So, another thing that happened, we had a neighbor, had the only truck in the neighborhood, and we thrashed wheat. And John would furnish his truck to haul the wheat to the elevator. Tires was just as bald as this floor, and I was helping John scoop wheat in the truck one year from the thrashing machine. And I got to go with him to the elevator because on the way back, we'd stop and get a soda pop. So we got a load of wheat, started for the elevator, got about a quarter of a mile from his house, and kerpow, blew out a tire, right rear tire. We stopped. John said, well, I guess I need to go call the ration board and see if I can get permission to buy a tire. Started for his house, pow, the tire next to it blew. As the weight shifted, we blew out all 4 tires on the back of his truck.
Oh.
So he said, I don't know whether I can get 4 tires or not. He called the ration board. They said, yeah, if you can find the tires, we will issue permits for you to buy them. So he called around and finally found 4 tires. They issued the permits. He bought them. Of course, he had to pay black market price to get them, and got the 4 tires. That was the easy part. Can you imagine jacking up a truckload of wheat to change those 4 tires out in the middle of the country, breaking down the rims, getting those new tires on the rims, and then pumping them up with an old hand pump?
They were split rim too, right?
Yeah, that's right, they were split rim. So that was the second thing about, I guess you'd call it rationing, him having to get permits to buy tires. I'm sure that John didn't make any money that year hauling wheat. But rationing was just part of it. Non-availability of a lot of things was as bad as the rationing. For instance, toys. There were no metal toys available at Christmas time. So metal just wasn't available to make toys. And I had always, we didn't have a whole lot of money to begin with, so I had to make a lot of my own toys. And had a good friend down in El Dorado, Illinois, managed a Kroger store down there. And he would always save the orange crates for me. Does this need to go higher?
No, you're good.
And I'd get those orange crates and salvage the wood out of them and use it for whatever. This Jeep is wood from orange crates.
I'll be done.
I had an aunt that had a dress shop, and she had boxes of buttons. And she had buttons that looked like little tires and wheels to me. that's the tires and wheels on my Jeep. Mom had an old player piano, and the piano tuner talked her into taking that player out of the piano. It had belts in there that was made out of rubberized canvas. That's the top on my Jeep. The wire was wire I salvaged out of something to make the framework. The Western Auto Store in El Dorado, owned by Mr. Woolard, had military color paint, so I painted it. And he also had little bottles of a fluorescent paint that glowed in the dark. So I got a bottle of that, and my headlights was painted with, as well as the tail light, was painted with fluorescent paint.
Very clever.
So that was one of the things from World War II.
Yeah.
The other thing was glass toys. And we called them shot candy. I don't know whether you've ever heard of shot candy or not, but it was a little hard pellet candy about the size of a BB shot. And these toys would have that shot candy in here with a little cardboard thing across the bottom to hold it in place. I wish I'd have kept some of those. But there were various ones available, and I don't remember what we paid for those.
Is that a fire engine or what is that?
This is a fire engine.
Let me zoom
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Hold something else up too.
There's a steamboat. There's a sedan.
Wait, hold that sedan up again.
Huh?
Hold the stand up.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
And for the little girls,
Oh,
there's pressing irons.
oh my. And that's something.
Yeah. A telephone. And the one that really goes with World War II
Jeep.
is the Jeep.
Now, did you keep all this as a youngster or did you find these later
No,
on?
this is
is
all-
from when you were a young man.
This is
Or a child, actually.
mid-40s, so that would make it, 80-some years old?
Yeah, sure.
Those are 80, all,
Yeah,
and they're
oh, yeah.
from World War II.
It's remarkable that you still have them.
Yeah,
Wow.
so, that's some of my memories from
Well, sure.
World War II.
Well, that's what we're looking for. That's exactly what we're after, just things just like that. And you've got some I mean, honestly, those are some pretty rare things. And that is, I don't know, I'm sure you have children, but you want to be sure you pass that along.
My youngest
And
son,
write out the, and.
I had already given it to him, and he had to bring it back to me for me to do this today.
Okay, well, write out the history of all the stuff too,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
we know how that kind of gets shaded after a
Right,
while, you know, I
right.
mean, it's like, so, but, Joe, we appreciate you coming in and
Another
bringing all that
thing-
in. And,
that might be of interest. There was a shuttle bus that run from Harrisburg, Illinois, over to the shipyards that brought workers for the shipyards back and forth.
Mhm.
And I don't remember what year this would have been, probably about 43, maybe 44. One of those buses just disappeared in thin air. They looked, could not find it. That bus was gone. Just north of Texas City, Illinois, which would be south of where 141 goes into Highway 45, there were, we called them borrow pits.
Uh-huh.
It was where they got the dirt to build the fill for Highway 45. In the spring, that area would flood, fill those borrow pits. They were probably 15, 20 feet deep. Now, they had looked for that bus there, but they could see no signs of it going in. That fall, as those borrow pits dried out, one of my neighbors, Herman Woolard, was farming some ground down to Texas City. He was driving his team and wagon down to that farm, down Highway 45. And he looked and he could see the top of that bus under the water in one of those borrow pits. So there was a fellow up in North City, Illinois named Cooper, oh boy, I forgot his last name now, South, Cooper South. He had built his own wrecker. So they called Cooper to come down and get that bus. So he came down really proud of his wrecker. He put a boat in the water, went out over that bus and tried to hook the front bumper. Couldn't get it. But this time, a pretty good crowd had gathered up on the highway. Even then, before all this communication, word got around pretty quick. And there was a fellow standing up on the highway. He was about 3 sheets in the wind. He was a good friend of Cooper's. And he yelled down, "Cooper, you want me to hook that up for you?" "Well, yeah, come on down." So the guy stripped down to his birthday suit in front of all the crowd, dived in the water, went down and hooked the hook onto the front bumper of the bus for Cooper. So Cooper started trying to pull the bus out, couldn't do it. He pulled up little saplings he hooked onto a telephone pole and was shaking it. While all this is going on, a fella came by, stopped, with a tractor trailer load of onions. Now, why I remember that was a load of onions, I don't know. But he was seeing what was going on. He yelled down to Cooper, "Mister, you want me to pull that bus out for you?" Cooper cussed and said, "If I can't do it with my record, you sure can't do it with that blank blank." The guy said, "I'll bet you $50 I can." So they worked the cable up to him. He backed that truck up, pulled that bus up out of the water, up the bank. Cooper was trying to pull it sideways. It was stuck in the mud. The guy with the truckload of onions was pulling it up. He got it out. They fully expected to find the driver on the bus.
Yeah.
Bus was empty. So now the second mystery. First the bus disappeared. Now what's happened to the driver? This is months.
Yeah.
Finally, they found him in Arkansas.
Oh, he was still alive.
He was
He
still
abandoned.
He had fell asleep at the wheel. He finally told what had happened. He had fallen asleep at the wheel, left the highway, and the bus sunk in the water. This was late at night. He knew he was in trouble. So he walked on into El Dorado. There was 2 trains came through El Dorado. He caught one of those trains and made it to Arkansas.
Oh my word, that is a good story.
They
Yeah.
finally found him.
Yeah.
And that solved both mysteries.
Both mysteries.
Both mysteries.
Well, Joe, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in, and you know, it's stuff like this that we like to hear. So thanks for your time. We appreciate
Things like that you'll never,
Turn
you
on.
know. Yeah,
Say goodbye.
it. Hey,
okay.
thank you, Joe. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.